Alright, on to the B verse. We're now going to look at the percussion that I add along with the vocal melody. First thing though is just to play the melody itself. I think we're down here, and if we're looking at our level 2 transcription, we're down to measure 31 approximately. And here we've got our main melody played up on 2 strings, playing octaves because of our tuning, 12th frets, strings 6 and 4. I'm going to use because of the strength, I want some strength in my fingers, because I'm going to use the hammering technique in a moment, or tapping as some people call it. I use my second and third fingers, so it's going to go 12, 14, 15, 14. Let's just play the notes first. Repeat those same frets with a altered rhythm. So 12, 14, 15, 14. Just like that. That's the responding phrase a little later. Same frets. Okay, now what my left hand really does during the performance is it does that melody with just hammering or tapping onto the fretboard to get those notes to sound. It's fairly straightforward, but make sure you can play the melody as is before you try to just do the hammering technique. Alright, now the percussion. In the performance, I chose to put my wrist on the lower bout here for the bass sound, or kick sound I should say, and I hit the fingers on the lower side for the snare sound. Just for the visual of our lesson, I'm going to move those 2 sounds over here, kick and snare. They sound pretty good there anyway. But here we go. So starting with our 12th frets, we're going to do our kick. Move your left hand to the 14th fret, right after. That's all on its own. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to alternate between percussion to melody, meaning snare, 15, kick, 14. So we have finishing off with a snare. Again, that was snare 15, kick 14, snare on its own. Putting that together, beat number 1, beat number 2, beat number 3, beat number 4. Alright, moving into the second measure, it's just going to be 12. And this time we're going to do 2 notes with, or 2 melody 8th notes with our snare. So I'm going to do 14 with the snare, up to the 15 there, kick. Good, that was kick to the 14, snare. This is very challenging to hold it all together, but it's not as challenging as it might seem. I say that and then I just make a mistake. Alright, now moving on to adding some rhythm guitar and keeping the percussion going. I pull these 2 fingers to the open strings so that we can get the open D5 chord sounding there. And I can come down and form a small D minor chord here. It looks much like an A minor grip, but I'm up at fret 6 and 7th frets. So the rhythm I'm playing over here is grabbing that chord. I go in beat number 1, and then and 3, 4. Same thing each time. So here's beat number 1. That's my kick, snare on its own, back to our chord. So that was beats number 1 and 2. Here they are again. Now with our next kick, we're going to do the chord, and with our next snare, we do the chord as well. Putting those 4 beats together. back into our rhythm pattern, and the arrangement continues as it did before. Okay, there's going to be one more class. I think we're going to try to tackle this in same guitar solos, so that'll be your next video over. Thanks.